Uh, I have not been on air in a very, very long time. But hello, my name is Lyric, aka Zaymari. I started a show up called Too Much Tea and a Lot of Estrogen. I have done two shows already. Um, One was Too Much Too Tea. Another one is called Stealth Life, where I interview people who are stealth. You don't get to see their face. All you do is hear their voice and um their story. And right now, I'm about to interview a someone by the name of. Oh look, here she come. About to talk about trans love. We have so much animosity right now going on in the community, and I wanted to interview any female about LGBTQ relationships or trans relationships. And I was lucky enough to find this young woman right here. So uh, let's get into it. First, what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Kasha from New York City. Shout out to everybody in New York. What's up? What's goody? Yeah, I'm Akasha Barker, aka Miss Tanya. Um, yeah, from Brooklyn.
Okay, Miss Nakasha. I know for one, being a trans male, I have um, certain rules that have been passed on down from me from generations to generation from my male um, family members or father. One in particular is if I have a best friend and my best friend has a lover, I honestly don't want to be my best friend's lover's friend, you know. And the only reason why I say that is because of this. If my best friend was to come to me and say, "Hey, me and my significant other are going through things," I want to be that person to tell her, "Hey, stick with it, stay with him. He's a cool person. She's a cool person." I don't want to be that person to be their friend, and then I get to know their partner, and then if their partner is doing something wrong, I can no longer protect them. You know what I'm saying? I can protect them as long as I don't know them. But once I get to know them, and my friend comes to me and say, "Hey, this person is doing that," then I'm gonna be the type of person to be like, mm, I'm not gonna be that person anymore to be like, "Well, I think you should just stick around and just work through it." I don't want to be that person that if I have to come to that person's house, my best friend's house, and they're there alone, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna stay. Hey, I'm gonna stay here till get here. No, I'm okay. Just let them know I came by, and you know, tell them to call me whenever they come in. So, how do you feel about that situation?
Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere that my best friend's lover is at. I don't like to be left alone anywhere where it could be so many conspicuous things that could come to mind for the person who walks in on that situation, or just trust is very hard, especially I believe in the LGBT community, trans community. It's just, it's like, it's hard to trust anybody with your significant other. It's hard, and you're supposed to trust your significant other no matter what. But a lot of us are not raised, we're raised within a community, not within an actual family household or neighborhood where it's normal. We're amongst a lot of individuals that are like, we're street raised, where we're not individuals that are capable of, I'm sorry, but the LGBT community does not trust each other with each other's lovers because a lot of us are messy. I won't say us. There's a lot of people that are just messy, as if we're running out of people to be with. It takes real grown people to be around real grown people. I know my friends that I grew up with, you could trust me, like people I grew up with as in my normal life, my stealth life. You could trust me with your lover all you want. You could trust me around anybody because I'm not thinking about what's inside that person's pants. I'm trying to think about like what's the good conversation to have, being friends with your significant other. But we have it in our community. There's a tendency of betrayal, and some kind of like sexual like indecency to a person's. Nobody has morals when it comes to partnership. People really don't. I've seen some stuff that I thought was terrible. We have trauma from growing up differently and act. Yeah.
I was about to say, do you think that it has a lot to do with maturity, or do you think it has a lot to do with the environment?
It
Like,
has to be it's back up upbringing. Like I came from a family. My mom and dad has been together since for like 40 something years, 40 something years, and I've only seen them together. I've only seen them not apart. I've only seen friends hang out with friends, friends hang out with family friends. We introduce you to our family's friends, or vice versa. Like we're supposed to come together as a community, which is it takes a village to raise a child. But we don't do that in the LGBT community. Honestly, we really don't. Promiscuity is high in the community, and it's sad because it's also not the conventional dating process either, like meet, greet, date process. A lot of these relationships are rushed into and not valued correctly, or trust is not earned or developed. A lot of people's standards of a relationship is not like, and back in the day, we used to have this thing, 6 months to a year. You got to know the person. The person should be your friend. If you could trust your friend, that should be your partner. Your partner and your friend should be one entity, and that should be able to confide in and say whatever and stuff like that you want to, but also like you can trust them. You know them well enough to say they're gonna chill. Like my friend should be able to chill with you and not be trying to do anything with you. Should not be throwing subliminals about relationships or sex or anything of that nature. Y'all should be able to talk about sports. You should be able to talk about a show that just came on. Like you should be able to have a conversation. That's a real community. And honestly, the LGBT community does not act like a real community. They act on instinct of immorality, sexual indecency, and like anything that can make them get arousal out of anything.
so do you think a lot of the reason why our community rushes through relationships and meet and greet people is because of the internet, having so much access and so many now choices that they don't give relationships a chance?
Mm. Okay, so there's a lot of age mingling and mixing. So I say it's like every age is like mixed into one pot. And so what happens is that you have grown-ups around kids, kids around grown-ups, pedophilia going on, pedophilia actions, money exchanges, and things like that. I could do this better than this other person can do this. I don't even think it has anything to do with the app. The app is a meetup spot, but it's it the app is a way to meet with people, but you still have the ability to make your own choices or wise choices. Um, it shouldn't be. Maybe that is the reason why nobody's like getting to know each other and stuff like that. I'm from old school, so me, I prefer to run into a person somehow or like meet them some way and then develop an understanding and relationship. Sex should not be number one. See, a lot of people don't understand sex is infatuation. You know, you have to learn how to actually love somebody, to understand somebody, to grow with somebody. That is the foundation of relationships. Sex, when you start something with sex, it could only end bad because it's infatuation, which creates all those other issues of infidelity, trust issues, stuff like that. Because you think primarily that the person is only about the essence of love making. You want somebody that you could have an intelligent conversation about jazz and be like, you know what, I know that other person can't even speak about jazz. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like speak about like Amy Winehouse or speak about the things like at the museum that y'all had. That's building a foundation to your relationship. That's building things together. You have to understand someone's past to know their future. You get what I'm saying?
But I understand that, but I also understand that dealing with especially with me, I'm always on the internet, so I'm always trolling other people and what's going on.
Mm.
When it comes down to the guys and the girls in our community, I see a lot of trauma. I see a whole bunch of trauma. So how is someone who, let's say, did sex work and they're used to people running in and out of their lives constantly every day, how are they supposed to build a trust with someone that they meet and they don't even know for a fact this person is good for them or not because they're so used to meeting people doing sex work? How do you help
Trauma.
that person through their traumas?
Trauma. Okay, you just said something um, that is very, that is something that has to be dealt with the individual themselves. They have to come to a reality of what they're doing and how does it affect someone. Um, I have a past, a very terrible past too. And my scenarios that I was kidnapped and solicited on the streets. And the way that I looked at relationships or people for relationships is that I felt that I would never be with anybody ever again. I I don't trust men. I see that they're all similar. I see a similarity in a lot of like personas, sexualized. I don't like to be objectified at all. I don't like aggression. I don't like certain conversations that make me feel as though you're thugging it or you're trying to be in control. Um, and that's my trauma speaking through because that's how I was held captive for so long. Um, I I feel these are warning signs to stay away from, warning signs to avoid from being abused, warning signs, and so it is hard for me to trust somebody. And I do, like I have a therapist. I speak to a psychiatrist. Um, Reasons being is because when you hold these things in, it could create such a trauma like PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
um, where like there was a time when I and it still is, like not wanting to be touched by anybody, being afraid, not trusting somebody. You just feel somebody's behind you. You feel like, or you sabotage your own relationships because you feel that it's not going to work anyway. You feel that your life also is not worth having a relationship because of the sabotage situations that happens before. You don't give anything a chance. So it's sex work is not what somebody actually wants to do a lot of times. I won't say everybody doesn't like doing it. Sex work has been done to survive.
Oh,
And
let me see, Miss. Hold on for Miss Alexis. If you could, is I see you say you want to be a part of this. If you could, you can call in and I'll put you in. Go ahead.
yeah, I think you could add them, right?
Yeah, I, some people I'm saying I can add, some I can't. But continue with your story.
Yeah, so dealing with those situations, like like for many years, I just felt like I just was not. I didn't want a relationship at all. I didn't want to be with anybody. I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to be the best that I can be for myself, but I was also denying a part of me that a lot of people have. Um, Sex work is not really trying. Sex work is not trying to be. A lot of people don't want to do sex work, but they have to. They feel like they have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not is not trying to be vindictive towards a partner. And so that's another thing. If I ever did sex work or if I did anything that I was even a stripper at one point, I didn't have a relationship because I felt like the two cannot mix. I feel that it is cheating. I feel that it is giving a part of yourself that you shouldn't be giving, even though that it's money. And you have to be the mature person to understand that you are not the only person in a relationship. That affects the other person to have to sit there, lay there by every night and think about the things that you have done with another person. So you have to find the
Mm-hmm.
strength within yourself, stop what you're doing and do better, want better, have a regular relationship in a regular type of way with a regular job. Sex work is not work. Sex work is not relationship work. That's not it. That's wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. It's like saying have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You either have to have the cake or eat it. One or the other.
All right, Mr. Cole, I see you joined us. What you feel about this?
Alexis?
Um, yeah. As far as the sex work thing, um, honestly, I know you spoke on being objectified and sexualized. I think that that is a gigantic problem in our community with both trans men and trans women. And that can definitely be a detriment to anybody's mental state in all aspects of life. That's a very big problem. And I think that it definitely has a negative attribute. So many people at one point felt like you said, that they had only the option to partake in sex work. Now we live in a time where that's not a necessity. However, because social media and media in general has made that the thing, a lot of trans women especially feel like that's what they have to do. And it's awful, but it does complicate dating. That entire perspective complicates life in general, not just in dating or in working, but that's a lifestyle that wraps you up mentally and it traps you. It dilutes your entire perspective on life in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, what else did you mention? There was so much stuff I wanted to say when I first got on here.
I thought we had a
um,
conversation earlier then.
oh yes, definitely. Um, I honestly think, and that's only because for whatever reason lately, it's become this big thing about what makes you transgender and separating sexuality and gender.
Mm-hmm.
And even for the people inside of our community who live these lifestyles, it seems to be this gigantic befuddlement settlement for them. And we need to clarify that, not only for heterosexual people and people outside of our community, but for us as well.
Yes.
People need to understand that what you do in the bedroom does not define who or what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
Exactly.
linking the two. That's where all of this confusion is coming from. And it doesn't help, especially when you have people inside of the community promoting idiocy like that. Especially when, for whatever reason, people seem to think when there's one person with a loud perspective or a loud opinion that it speaks for everybody. And that is not the case.
Right.
Like, that's insane. If you are a trans woman that likes or dates trans men, why can I not just like or date who I like and date? Why does there have to be a label on it? Why do I have to explain this to someone who I am not in a relationship with? Let's start there. That's my biggest thing. If everybody just learns to mind their business and stop concerning yourself with things that are of no concern to you, there wouldn't be need for 10,000 labels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're at a point where we have to label all this stuff, and then it's not even being labeled properly. And a lot of that comes from, again, people not knowing how to separate sex and sexuality and gender. And then, especially with heterosexual people and people that are not transgender, I feel like when you say crazy things like men being attracted to trans women makes them gay, that to me says you don't feel like I'm a woman.
Exactly.
And that's a complete and utter disrespect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why can a man not be heterosexual or be considered trans attracted simply because he likes me? I'm no longer a man. I have transitioned. And then you don't know what the hell I have in my pants anyway. So who are you to tell me what my gender is?
That's another form of fetishizing.
Yes.
Exactly.
So these individuals are supposed to the actual meaning of like what it is to be say a male is attracted to a woman. He's attracted to the female, the figure, the femininity of a woman,
Mm-hmm.
the object of a woman, which makes him straight. He will never know what's between the person's leg. It doesn't make a difference. He's attracted to a woman. Just like if someone is attracted to a man, they see the figure of a man on his outside. It doesn't matter what's between the legs. That's something that happens inside of inside of the room, inside of the bedroom that nobody knows about.
Exactly.
A lot of us cisgendered straight people seem to have a tendency to always want to know what's going on between the legs because of their own fantasies and fetishizing, because the mindset of breeding and sexual immorality always comes into play because they're that's all they do. Sex, breed, have kids, call it a day. They don't see like an actual life beyond that. We're more of have a third mind way of thinking, a more broader scope of society, but they'll never understand that. And then when they see something like, oh, there's a trans lesbian, confusing. When you see Paul or John say he's a lesbian, but he's not fully transitioned or even kind of transitioned, which messes up things for our transgender community as well. So it's weird. I mean, I actually I actually love men, and I love trans men. I'm not into cisgendered men. I only want trans men. I've dealt with cisgendered men, but I realized that I could never get along, and I felt like I was forcing myself to deal with a persona that was just not me. I was doing the norm as I thought it was supposed to be. But trans relationships, I see it to be more like an understanding of the process of what I've went through. And not too many people understand that process, because if you could understand the process of what a person goes through, the struggles as trans women, what we go through, the struggle as trans men, what they go through, it helps. I no, in such a way, it helps in such a way to have more courage in your path, have more understanding of building a family and why you did the things that you do, because we're not gay.
You don't there's no longer that loneliness or that yearning for somebody to simply understand you. Even with relationships between trans women and trans men, even though our paths are different, our goals are the same. I may not know what it's like for testosterone to be running through you, but I know it's giving you some of the same problems that it's giving me. You're moody, you know, you want to eat this or you don't want to eat this, or the smell of this makes you sick. We are both going through that same thing. So on days when I don't want to be bothered and I don't want to be touched, I don't have to deal with somebody saying, oh, you're just angry, you're being extra. Because, okay, babe, I get it. You're not in the mood. I'm going to go watch TV, or I'm going to go hang out with the boys. Or, okay,
Right.
babe, I got you. Here's some money for your haircut. I'm going to go do this. I'll let you have your time.
Right. Not
And
understanding why you're crying. Not
yeah,
understanding what you're feeling. Not understanding that you have to go to the doctor for something pertaining to transitioning. Not
right.
understanding like anything, hormonal levels, or having to break
Mm-hmm.
it down. Well, I got to go do this for my transitioning, such as electrolysis. Oh, you're okay. No, I'm not okay. I feel like I want this done and I need this done. You know, not understanding that this is a part of us.
Definitely. This is day-to-day life for us. And it helps too when you don't have to constantly explain these things to somebody who has no knowledge of it. Because having to have so much patience can be draining. It gets tiresome, especially when you're dating somebody who doesn't understand that. Now I have to explain to you what electrolysis is, why I have to get it, why I feel the way that I feel. Hell, by the time I get done telling you about it, I don't want to even go do. I just want to lay down and you to get out my face.
That's true.
So like,
See, I could
it's the
actually, I would say something. It's and this is a very private conversation. This is something private that I haven't talked about since it happened, really, with too many people. So I was married to a cisgendered man, and it was very unpredictable type of situation where I took my life serious, but them looking at me as a femme queen, transsexual, they didn't think I took my own life serious. They just looked at me as like fun and happy go and all types of stuff. But in that situation, I had surgery, just a minor surgery on my lip. It was a lip reduction. And I came out of surgery that day and I came to go see them. This person beat me for 5 hours after surgery. He didn't understand like my health. He didn't understand my he didn't understand my health. He didn't understand my reasoning behind what I was doing. He just looked at it as just any other surgery. He beat me for 5 hours after having an open surgery towards my lip, and I was so afraid about what was going to happen to me. He beat my face also for 5 hours. And it was the most detrimental situation that had ever happened to me. I never thought that I would ever go through something like that. He didn't value what I was doing for myself. He just looked at it like maybe I could just go get it done again or whatever. We'll get over this. And it's been, I said I don't want to ever go through that ever again. It was the most embarrassing time of my life just before my birthday and stuff like that. But he disfigured me. He didn't take my transition seriously. He felt like I was a piece of property for him, a porn star for him. And living a life of being just objectified was hard. And I was with him for 3 years. So
I'm sorry that happened to you. I hate that you had to experience something like that.
being considered property is a problem amongst cisgendered men and trans as well.
Mm-hmm.
They 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 view us as they are the DLs and they have to cover up what they're doing and their family, and if their family will accept them and stuff like that. And like it's like they treat you as if it's an honor to be with them because they're supposed to be this cisgendered male. They could just, just do whatever they want to do. But now, they're gonna introduce you to their friends and family and all this other stuff, and you're like this, like I really don't even care for all that. And it was no care for me. It was no understanding of me being trans, and I need my privacy, and I need my own understanding. I need time to myself, and I need to process what I've been going through.
So it's 2024 now. Do you think guys are more out with trans women, or do you think it's still the same way?
Same script, different cast.
Boom. and to be fair, I will say that things have progressed, but not by much. Not by much. Not by much at all. And I think a lot of that, honestly speaking, is it comes back to stereotypes and things that are projected on us, and even sometimes from us as a community of transgender people. Because you have a lot of girls, especially, I don't know where you guys are from, but I'm from the South. So there are a lot of girls here that feel like when they transition, they have to transition and go stealth just to
That's
get
how
by.
it used to be here in New York.
Okay.
Years ago. So I came out in 1994. So that was how New York was. You could you either you transition and you don't want to die, you stay south. You have to be as real as possible. You have to act as possible. You know what I'm saying? And when you're with your girlfriends, you could kind of cut up a little bit, but at the end of the day, you were on your own. There weren't many of us here in New York City. They were only that person, this person, that person. Like it took a lot of women to pave the way for us, but it wasn't many of us, and you really you look at somebody the wrong way back in the 90s, you're getting an ear to ear. You're getting an ear to ear. You get a garbage can thrown at you. You have you get shot. You get killed. Many of my girlfriends have been murdered. Many of my girlfriends have been murdered, and they're real as rain, murdered.
And that's correct. That's insane. But that goes back to like what you were just talking about, the internalized transphobia, the internal struggle of dealing with who you are. And that's a big thing for me, especially when dating people. I need you to know that this is what we're going to do, because I'm not going to live my life in a closet for your sake. I don't go around screaming at the top of the lungs, hey, I'm a tranny, come talk to me. But I'm also not about to duck and dodge and play games. Yeah, I'm not doing that because I'm comfortable with who I am. This is the lifestyle that I chose, and I'm prepared to deal with it. So when you come to deal with me, you need to be on the same level with that as I am. And if you're not, state that up front so I can make the choice that I need to make for me. But people these days they're not logical and mature enough to make those choices. They don't want to have those conversations. The fear of what takes place afterwards is way too great for them. And again, a lot of that comes from the stereotypes and things that people project. Especially the heterosexual community, they still feel like if you don't look like Tyra Banks, then you're not a trans woman. If you don't look like Shamar Moore, you're not a trans man. You have to blend in. You have to be able to go and sit in public and nobody say, hey, that used to be a man.
And no disrespect, but I mean, a lot of them be looking like Huckleberry Finn and She-Hulk and things. Their damn selves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they have a wider back than the 49ers on a football field and stuff like that. Like and a female too, and no hips and no. And we carry ourselves to a certain regard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we want to perfect we want to make ourselves feel good and feel better. And they could walk down the street with the full beard, and they be like, Miss, and you like, ooh, that's oh wow, and talking to you with a baritone bass voice, and that I realized that you are how you feel. Because if
Definitely.
that lady could walk down the street looking like that, and that man, that big man, that with the titties and the hips and he's, hey girl, if he could walk down the street and feel like he's the man, we could be anywhere, and that's when you lift your head up and you go like this, child, she's, I don't have time. And it's always been the scenario that Martin Luther King said, it's not by the color of your skin, you know, but by the character that you have. And that's what I've always built myself on, my character.
Definitely.
How you present yourself in your life. It doesn't matter if I'm this, that, Wingstop or Popeyes or KFC. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I am a version of me that could contribute to society and help people in society and help other people. And I show kindness and I show appreciation for others and consideration. And that's what we all should have in general.
Definitely. That is what's lacking in the world, not just our community. People get so wrapped up in what they've been taught, because even now in the day and time that we live in, a lot of these phobias are based on old school mentalities that you grew up hearing or that you were told. You're acting off of habit rather than forming your own opinions and mindsets about these things that are taking place or the people that you're encountering. At the end of the day, especially in the Black community, you're pro-Black, but you don't like me because I'm trans. If somebody white doesn't like Black people, they're not going to give a damn if I got a wig on or whatever the hell it is that I have on. They see two Black people.
We all look
Bang,
the same.
bang, pow, pow.
Exactly. We all look the same. Black.
Exactly.
They don't see nothing else. They're colorblind. That's black. And you know what I'm saying? And they know what white looks like. And so the problem with that being hated within our own community of we're only 15% of America. We're not even, it's a Caucasian is 76% of the nation, which is billions of people, versus us, which we only are like a few million. Now, our behavior with each other, talking about that they're how do you say it? We're castrating the cisgendered man. We're bringing down the man. No, you're setting us up for abuse. You're setting us up for violence. You're setting us up for ignorance. You're setting us up for what I do has nothing to do with the growth of Black people within our community. How you're acting will affect the way that we deal with society, because it's the slave-like mentality that was taught to us by our first slave owners.
Definitely agree. Definitely. And it's generational. It's passed down. These are the things that I grew up seeing. So naturally, I'm going to adhere to that. I feel like that's what's right.
I wanted to bring one more girl in, but I think she went off to get her opinion as well. Let me see if I can get her back. Well, she declined. All right, let's get back to the okay. So I did put up a post about trans men and trans women getting along. Through my timeline today, I've been hearing so much aggression from trans women. Hey, you did this to me. From trans men, and trans men, hey, she did this to me. One of the biggest things I always stood by, and I still do to this day, I would not join a group meeting unless we are together. I do not like to split up. And a lot of people was like, we need to understand the guys, and the girls need to understand the girls. But in reality, we need to understand each other to come together. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to march for us but us. Nobody's going to defend each other but us. Trans men, we are supposed to protect our trans sisters. Trans sisters, we are supposed to protect our trans brothers. We are supposed to be together. We've been split apart now so much, especially with the LGBTQ. It's time for us to come together as one. And the only way to do that is for us to understand each other. Ladies, how do you feel about that?
Me personally, I definitely agree to the utmost. I was actually having this conversation prior to joining the live about this exact same thing with one of my uncles. And it's crazy to me that we, as people who have so many likenesses amongst ourselves, the only time that we come together and do anything together, especially when it comes to dating, is when we assume these roles that have been pushed upon us. And we begin to act and behave like cisgender women. We want to blame the trans men that we date or that we are infatuated with for the things that they do. And they want to do the same thing to us. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I'm not understanding how, and this is no shade to anybody, but me personally, I feel like any and everything that doesn't fit one of the other letters under the little umbrella, they throw it into the transgender category, and that is not the case.
Yes.
That's cool that you're non-binary. That doesn't mean that you're transgender.
Exactly.
Stop. Society is diluting our community, and we're allowing them to do so. And it does nothing more than drive a wedge further between the people that are a part of the community.
Exactly.
That's insane to me. We're at each other's throats already, and then you're going to throw a bunch of other people in the mix. Cross-dressers are not transgender people. If that's what you want to do, cool. But that doesn't mean that you get to sit on this side of the room with me, because your struggle and my struggle, while they may be similar, they're completely different. And now I got to battle with Tom, and I got to battle with you because you feel like you're supposed to be here because you don't have anywhere else to go. And then I'm already dealing with these life day-to-day issues with Tom.
And can I add to that? Okay, non-binary, is that just a drag queen?
At this point, right? I don't even know. I mean, because from what I've understood and from the people that I've met, they consider themselves to not have a gender.
Because, as I was explaining to somebody before, when non-binary first came out, from when they started developing it more into the conversation, was when youth wanted to transition, but they had to find terms that was more politically correct for individuals that were under 18 years old. Mm-hmm. Being able to correct, like not saying male, to a student that feels as a trans woman. Mm-hmm. So as what they take would be hormone blockers. This is how it was supposed to. They were not supposed to be categorized as male or female or this or that as a political standpoint to prevent biasness. So if you did not call them he or say she, you're not offending them in classrooms, environments where they could feel depressed, restricted, and voided. So as they would say, non-binary was supposed to cover those terms. Before, we only had three things. It was transsexual, transgender, and it was transvestite. Transvestite, you dress up in drags. Transgender, you're transitioned. Transsexual, you had a sex change. Mm-hmm. Now, these kids do not need to be dragged into the whole political this and political that. So trying to find now this non-binary or this what is that non-binary nonsense for adults needs to stop. I don't care what anybody want to say, because I don't understand. Is this supposed to be like Phantom of the Opera, or like, when they have half the face is female and half the face is man, and then they start walking into the room and they're like, but I'm just not understanding that. I personally don't want to see that. A full beard with lipstick and a 28-inch weave coming into the bathroom. That's a man. they're categorizing transgender women with that. They're and then on top of that, with trans men, that's a whole bunch of confusion. That's clownery. That's a school for FX or sci-fi. They need their own sci-fi channel. That's give them their sci-fi channel. That's not us. We're chemically induced to become a certain way. You have somebody who just puts on a hat and lipstick and says, "Call me X, Xavier X or something." I don't know. They don't. This the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Let them be. Let them create their own thing. We've been fighting for this for a long time. I don't know if any of you ever heard of Lynn Conway. Lynn Conway. I'm non-binary. I'm non-binary in seriousness.
And Diamond, no shade. Like, I get that. From me watching you and, you know, us sharing our kikis and our jokes and things of that nature, that's cool. But because you just came in, like, we don't want to offend anybody, but we do want to clarify what it is that we're talking about. And it's basically that society wants to throw everybody that they don't have an explanation for or they can't rationalize into the category of transgender. And it causes confusion because they already don't understand you guys. They already don't understand us. So it's just another way for them to dilute or try to explain our strangeness.
Why is it not? Why is it not? Why is it that non-binary cannot just be like y'all are more of expressionists, not transitionists?
Especially when on the whole, there's so many more of you all that don't actually want to transition. You're comfortable where you are. And again, that's okay. But where you all gain, we as a community lose.
We lose.
Because again, they're grouping us all together and they view us all as the same thing, and that's not the case.
Right. Because taking a hormone shot is not fun. Taking a hormone shot, being unleveled, having to use the bathroom like 6-7 times within an hour, changing our own immune system based off of the hormones that we take. It's not fun. It's not fun to say that we're half this, half that. It hurts. It really hurts. It hurts to be hurt to say that somebody says, "Oh, what is that?" And and then call, I think it's one of those non-binary. Imagine,
and it's crazy. Look because you
at this.
Hear that.
It clumps us all into one scenario, and it hurts. It hurts that all the work that we've done, we're not taking seriously as a whole. We're not taking it seriously as the path and the struggles that we took just to get this far.
Definitely.
All right, I have Miss Love Storm on the other. Miss Storm.
Yes, hey sisters and brothers. For those of you who don't know, I am Bianca Ray Lovestorm Prime. I'm newly trans woman. December made a year, and I'm off camera because I am so not camera ready.
Don't feel bad. That's why
I am literally in a bonnet, about to start dinner. Listening to this whole conversation has been very enlightening as a factor of I just turned 43 on Saturday, and I always get the question, thank you, Team Aquarius, but I always get the question of what made me transition so late in life, and it's always going to be fear. Crap. When one has been doing drag for 18 years and my drag aesthetic has always gave trans woman, now me living in my truth is just, I don't want to be around anyone. I don't want to be with anyone. I literally want to live a life in some ways of solitude until I'm okay to be like, okay, I want to do A, B, and C. Because let's be honest, for all of us on here. It's not easy going out into the world and putting our best foot forward and being told, okay, we're doing too much. Why you got all that on? Why you look like that? I was raised to look good when I walk out the door. I can't just walk out looking at like any old thing. Clothes got to be cleaned. They got to be fresh. They got to be new. Hair got to be laid. Nails, for me, my nails have to be did. Lashes, oh, I got to have a lash on. Got to have a pocketbook. I'm a woman. And I get that's not everybody, that's not everyone's aesthetic. Whether you're cis, biological, or trans, we all in life have our own aesthetics. Some women don't put on makeup. Some women don't want to get dressed to go to the store. They just want to put on sweatpants and put their hair in a ponytail or put a bonnet on. Now, I will say this when it comes to the pan, trans, non-binary, gender fluid. How could I put this? I come from an era where gender fluid would have been more androgynous or just they are who they are. But now it's not androgynous, more so they're just non-binary or they don't have a gender. And I get it, but I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to put them down because I don't get it or I don't. What I want us to stop doing is putting the other genders in with trans. Let them have theirs, but understand the difference between being a trans man and a trans woman. I think, Akasha, I think you mentioned taking hormone shots. Baby, that's one thing they don't tell you. That will get you two together. On a hot summer's day, you want to be grown and outside and have a cocktail? Baby, that heat and that moan gonna get you. They don't
Every
mix
time.
too well.
And God forbid you smell something, honey, that's not agreeable at the moment. Father God in heaven.
The emotions, and like I have posted earlier, the coping and understanding of who you are about to become is not for the faint of heart. I see, just lastly, and I know I'm going off topic, but I see lastly a lot of trans women or trans men detransitioning.
Cool.
I've
I'm glad you brought
also, just really quickly, I've also gotten into the factor of, are you sure you want to do this? Are you definitely? I'm at a point now, one of my biggest things coming into this, my name had to be Bianca Ray. I get that's not everybody's gig, but that was my gig. For like the last 2 years before I transitioned, I wanted to be called Bianca Ray. Let me get that done. Address me accordingly. Even the young lady who wasn't one of us, but she was in the airport, I seen that they saw the TSA worker. Oh, he was cute. Yeah, he may have been cute, but he was shady. Y'all got to understand, not everybody's going to sound like a Tyra Banks or look like a Tyra Banks when it comes to a trans woman or a trans man.
Definitely.
I still look like when I first began, but I may be tilapia now, but I'm going to get salmon one day. This voice may be a little deep blue sea, but she going to get a little heavenly later on. Well, he was doing it. No, baby, my ID says Bianca Ray Cooper. Address me accordingly. I'm not being funny. We in this community take disrespect as a key. That's not funny. I'm that girl who I'm literally college educated. Address me accordingly. My ID says female. My literally ID says female and Bianca Ray. Where you sound like this, and I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Don't play with me.
Oh
Was
man.
the boy, was the man, let me stop. Was the man cute? Yes. But he was disrespectful, and you're disrespectful at a 9-to-5 job.
That's right.
So you must don't like your job. And the petty in me, he would have lost his job. Well, girl, why would you do that? Because he was disrespectful. When we show one, they all will understand.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
see, and let me add, I'm from an earlier time. I mean, I transitioned at an earlier time. I'm
Mhm.
44, changing 45 this year. And what basically happened to me, I transitioned in high school. And I transitioned in the summer, came back, and I was in high school, and I was still using my old name. And for a transgender with no other transgenders in the school,
Mhm.
for them to say my name out loud and ask if I'm here in the class, and I'm here in the class, and it's da 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 da, but nobody spooked. The fright though that I had was the part that took over me, the anxiety, the everything about what will happen once they figure it out. And that was hard to walk through the walls. I've been denied schools because I was trans. I was denied top schools because I was trans. And they couldn't figure out where to put me, even though I had high scores to enter the school, get into the school. They thought that I was going to be problematic. And as a problematic, as in situations will happen to me, it will be bad situations that happen to me. And I had to learn just to cater around life the way that life threw it at me. I didn't have the opportunities. There was no equality. There was no name changes at that time. You had to do it legally, and I think you had to spend like about $5,000 back in the day. I ended up changing my name at the age of 20. But there still wasn't rights for us. I even got arrested in the women's bathroom here in New York City. And when I went to court, the judge saw what the problem was, in the women's bathroom, and told me to walk out the door. I was walking up to him, and he just pointed to the door. It was a sick time, and it was hard, and it was difficult, and life did not treat you well, and they didn't care if you was trans at the job and they discriminate you. They had the right to. That is the time frame where I came from, and it was hard. So for me to have fight through all of that, for somebody else to walk in without having to even go through the struggle that I went through, and just say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm Drags. I'm me. Just accept me, mustache and all." Like you said, you're supposed to come unpolished. You're trying to be the person who you are, who you feel that you are. If you're not even working at it, you a lipstick, full beard, a mini skirt, and a yellow jacket with a spaghetti strap top with the hair coming up from your chest. Do you find that to be do you find that to be, see, in pageantry, it's all about elegance and everything that you just said, your composure, the way that you act, the way that you talk, the way that you carry yourself. You have to have some kind of sophistication with everything. And that goes down to my darling and my love, Diane Carroll. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to have
Miss
manners.
Devereaux.
Yeah, hello.
That classic
Miss Devereaux.
elegance.
Hold on. So the
Hello.
funniest thing is, you're like the second woman who's asked me about the aesthetic and the sophistication of wanting to put on makeup, wanting to put on hair. And when you have someone who literally just, prime example, me doing drag for 18 years, someone who literally walks around with no chest, well, with a boy chest, excuse my language, with no hips, some cover girl, and thinking, oh, well, that's going to cover boy. Well, how do you feel when they get all the bookings and they're on this, this, and this? Oh, okay. I can't get mad at them. I have to get mad at the promoters of the clubs and the club owners because they're booking the, as I call them, shenanigans. I understand we all have our own aesthetics, but this is what honestly drag society has come to. They love the shenanigans of, well, they don't have to get into full drag. And what do you mean? A lash, a lip, a wig, a, at least a C cup. If you got a 42 shoulder, you need at least a D cup
Mm,
and a hip.
mm.
It should be a transformation from what you were born as to what you get up in as. That's the era I came from. Of drag was authentic drag.
Mhm,
If you were comfortable, you were not doing drag right.
mhm.
But that's a thing, especially here in the South too, in pageantry.
Oh, wait, hold
You they they have
on.
they praise the femme queens and they expect the boy queens to emulate that womanhood. There is no division anymore, and that they're trying to do away with it, and that's fine for the inclusion. But at the same time, as trans women, this is not stuff that we can take off and put in the closet until next weekend. We
But
have
see,
to walk
also
around
for
with this.
me, when with me doing drag, when I did drag, I left my house in drag. I came home in drag. I think that's the difference of a drag queen at times can get ready at the club
Mm-hmm.
or will get ready at the club. They'll come in a butch queen, put on their makeup, put on their hips, put on their boobs, and they'll be good. Trans women, they have to understand we literally, well, for some of the girls have a good C cup, some of the girls have hips. They come to the club and put a face on. When they leave the club, they still got some still leave in a face of makeup, some may take it off. The difference is the aesthetic and the
Yep.
understanding of what drag is. Now, even with trans women, it's just trans women who do drag.
Mm-hmm.
I,
They
They're not
live
even. I
as
don't even
women, but
consider them drag queens. I
I
consider them,
love drags.
female
you have
impersonators.
but you also have cis women who do drag and they're called femmes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like there are three different, even trans men. You have male leads, MIs, and trans men who do male leads as well. So it's like, okay, there's a difference within the community, and it's always been that way. I just say put your best foot forward. I have to understand. I've been told if you all see my profile photo, I do too much. I don't look at me doing too much. You're not doing enough.
But
As
that
one of the
also
girls
comes
said,
down to, again, who you are as an individual. And like you said, your
yes,
aesthetic. Nobody gets to tell you who you are or who you can be,
And for
whether
me,
it's on stage or day to day.
for me,
People
I would
tell me
call it.
all the time that I'm too pretty to put all that makeup on when I do the show and when I do pageants. I don't want to look like I'm going to the grocery store when I'm going to do the show.
right.
That's how I was. That's how I was raised when I started doing drag. I came out at the end of the era where girls put on all that shit. They snatched their eyebrows back to their motherfucking hairline. That's what they did. And while I ain't doing all that now. I'm gonna tell you, I still want to look like a woman, but I believe in putting my shit on. Like I'm gonna put my makeup on. I'm gonna put my cosmetics on. I'm gonna put my jewelry on. I'm gonna put my big hair on, because that to me is drag, and I'm still
I'm
going
at a
to
point
be a
now.
woman while doing it.
I'm at a point now to where as though there are three different Bianca Rays.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally me at home right now. Like I got a whole bonnet on, not a stitch. Well, I think I got eyebrows on right now because I took them off for my birthday. But that's literally just me being comfortable. That's Bianca Ray D. Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Me going out into the community, okay, I put a face on. That's just me literally, okay, putting a face on, wanting to be cute, a lash. That's Bianca Ray Lovestorm Prime. But on a show, you'll get the highlight, the contour, the top lashes and bottom lashes, some ignorant ass jewelry. Well, the big gaudy jewelry. Why? I have long nails and I have long hands. I need something that's gonna literally
Feminine.
make all of this balance out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't need all that on. Yes, I do. There should be a difference between daytime, evening, and stage makeup.
Definitely.
Our faves do it. You know, I love me some Mariah Carey, but our faves do it. We should be able to differentiate the three as well.
But we should, and not just for that purpose. Well, there should be a differentiation between those three things anyway, because all of us are three different people. The same person that goes to church on Sunday is not the same person that goes to their 9 to 5 Monday morning. You're not the
That
same
part.
person when you get home and you take your clothes off and lay down. So there should be that. There should be a distinction. I don't want to be in Walmart and you come running up to me. I saw you at the show last night. No.
You know, mind you, you catch me at Walmart, you won't realize I'm the same two people. Quiet as kept.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, do we know you? It's your smile. I don't know how you see my smile. I got a whole mask on and sunglasses. I'm very Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion right now. Now the voice, the voice gonna stay the same, but everything
Definitely.
else. Oh, and the nails, because I have a specific way of getting my nails done. Oh well, did I see you last night? You probably did. Where were you? Oh no, where were you? Because that sounds real creepy.
Exactly.
And I will say this, I'm very protective of my peace and my safety.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, well, you don't, I don't like everybody. First of all, I didn't like everybody anyway. That's the Aquarius in me. But just
Definitely.
now as a Black trans woman, well, you're not going to come over for what? I don't know you like that.
Mm.
People be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not going to come see me for what? I can see you now.
That's what
We can
pictures are
video
for.
chat.
This ain't Facebook. You want to look at me? Get on Facebook. I got 2 pages. Which one you want to see?
Well, I got 2 pages on Facebook because my original the page I'm on now, it got reported, and then I literally had to wait a whole year because it was the time where 24 like 16, I had to give them my ID to show them I was a real person. So they put my dead name up there. Oh no, we can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go create me a whole new Facebook page. My family, you really did? Yes, I did. At one point, I had 3 Facebook pages. Now I have 2. Why do you have 2? You should always have 2 as a backup. You never know who are going to be in their feelings and go report your main page, which is my stage name. It just so happens now my government name is damn near my stage name too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't get me now. For Instagram, Twitter. Well, don't be. I'm telling my business.
Yeah.
And just to like piggyback off something else that you brought up earlier, Bianca, about this whole
Hold on.
detransition mess.
It's Bianca Ray.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Bianca Ray.
Thank you so much.
To piggyback off of that, especially this these videos and stuff that are going around about Miss Thing that decided to detransition and it's the devil and all of this crap. All of that comes down to your reasoning for transitioning. Rather than bring faith and religion and all this other stuff into it, why can we not just be honest and state the reason why we're doing these things? If you detransition for the wrong reason, that's perfectly fine. But don't make excuses and don't blame it on all of this irrelevant stuff. You transitioned because you wanted to get a certain group of people who still didn't want you when you transitioned. Simple as that.
That part.
Stop making all of these excuses and involving all of this other stuff that's controversial for no reason at all. It makes us all look bad because now you've gone viral for something idiotic that was your personal choice, and it's a reflection of all of us.
No, but the funniest thing is, and I just had a conversation with a cis Black woman as a factor of it's always going to be those Bible thumpers who are going to thump the Bible at us. And the funniest thing is, I play stupid or I play dumb a lot. I'm very pretty, but I'm also educated too. Going into that as a factor of, well, you know, it says this in the Bible, it says that in the Bible, it says that's in the Bible. You do know it also says A, B, and C in the Bible too. Ain't nobody living accordingly to the Bible, but maybe a monk, the Pope, and some nuns. Because ain't nobody in the Catholic Church, as much as I love my faith, the Baptist, the Lutheran, this, and this, ain't nobody living their life wholeheartedly according to what that good book says.
I
And
totally
I want to
agree.
say something. God is good, is God is great.
All the
Let me say that
time.
I'm a pastor and I've been in church most of my life, but I
Mm-hmm.
studied the Bible for 5 years intensively, analyzing it, and it has nothing to do with us in there. And if anything, it praises what they would have called us eunuchs back in the day and stuff like that. And a lot of people never pay attention to the exact words that are within the scriptures. They use what they want, throw it at you, one sentence and throw it at you, and then think that's all it is. And then, you know, when Jesus Christ died, he died for everybody's life. Everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was good.
Hold on.
Nobody did anything
Here,
right.
here my shady ass go. Wasn't one of Jesus's good girlfriends wasn't she a more experienced woman?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Were you trying to be funny? No, I'm
Mary.
serious.
Yeah.
Mary
Mary.
Magdalene was
Mary.
She was a
she was
hoe.
a little she was
Mary
she
was a
was
hoe.
experienced. She was
Mary was a
she
We
was
hoe.
gonna call it what it
experienced.
is. They call us what they want to call us. Mary was a hoe. Simple
So,
as that. Merry
She
Christmas.
was experienced.
Mary was
She
a
had a
hoe.
friendly cooter. Her cooter was friendly.
And the funny thing about it is that women that were covered up were the whores.
Mm-hmm.
The women that had none on were considered married and with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That was the opposite, you see? And what happens is that they used to be covered up and they used to be at their door and they used to tell you to come on in and stuff like that. But that's one of the oldest professions that's out there.
Hmm.
That was considered a job. It was a job. Now, what she didn't want to do was Mary Magdalene, she was tired of that job. It wasn't the part that she was doing it wasn't the bad part. She was tired and she wanted change. She wanted something different. She didn't want to continue to do that anymore.
Simple as
You didn't see him go, oh, you hoes out there. No. That was their job. It was to breed, to give birth, to tend to the kids. And, you know, for those, you know, for the others, they did that. Who were by themselves, who had no man, whose husband died. That's how it went. You know, you wasn't supposed to get remarried after you got married once.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to survive on their own.
Well, no, what I also say is I look at um analyzing the woman's role in everyday society as a factor of, like you just said, Akasha, they were literally born to get married, well, to wed, breed, and raise or tend to the home. Who in their right mind at a certain age would want all of that? Yes, some people do want to have a family, they want to raise kids. Um, let's not act like family and children and people ain't a lot. I'm being PC right now. Childbirth and all of that can be a lot, or raising children can be a lot. Just taking care of the home can be a lot. What I will say is now it seems like in today's society, nobody understands truly what adulting is.
of course not. Again,
Well,
it's
girl, what
been
do you mean adulting? I just realized next Friday rent is due. Ain't that some bullshit? On a whole Friday, I got stuff to do. Bill want his money every month, and he don't even get nothing out of it. That's a one-sided relationship that they don't tell you about growing up.
Mm-hmm.
well, I know for one, you do realize back in the Bible ages that these women were like 14, 15, like they were young.
They were married and
And
having children by 13,
hmm
stunning and
and
growth
then
to
she
die.
considered pedophilia.
And then now in America, society changed it, but let's be real, it's reversing back again. We have kids that are having children at 12. You know, grandmas that are at the age of 20, 25 sometimes. So
Let's talk about Sodom and Gomorrah.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodomy used to mean sin. Whatever they changed it to now is whatever. But the actual meaning used to be sin. It was the city of sin. The reason why it was so treacherous is because the fathers were selling their kids to the other men. They were having sex with kids that were younger than the marriage age. Because remember, people were dying younger back then as well.
Mhm.
There is absolute historical things, even down to Egyptians, that show that youth were always taken advantage of for a very long time in this entire world. And it was nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And would die giving birth. And it would just keep moving on. They were beaten. They were used. You know what I'm saying? Even that polygamy stuff, like when Moses and he bear children with so many other people, so many other women, and they were all tending with each other to take care of the children. People don't ever pay attention to the fine details. And they also said about for those that don't understand, it is only for him to understand. About eunuchs, the ones that were made that way, the ones that made themselves that way, and the ones that were born that way. He said their names will be placed into his temples for eternity, for others to kneel down and pray.
But let me
So I
just
don't think
say
we
this
don't
really
have
quickly. I think
huh?
one thing for the trans community is we as a community need to have a conversation amongst ourselves and then get on one accord, and then that way be on one accord. And oh my goodness, I had my train of thought. Thank God I'm pretty. Be on one accord and see, like, show the other communities our unity,
Mm-hmm.
and then we be like, okay, we on a forefront as a unit. We may have our own internal struggles and internal differences. Sometimes we have to put those differences aside and remember the bigger picture. I
Definitely.
remember doing a trans talk live last year as a factor of, I say this to my cisgender women, don't let them confuse y'all about the shenanigans or the narrative that they're pushing against us.
Mhm.
We are not the enemy. We are not out here making laws, putting this, and this into effect. This ain't us, sisters. Don't let them, don't let their disdain for us influence how y'all vote, which is going to be ultimately against us.
Yes.
But when you read the fine print, it's also going to be more so against y'all too.
Mm-hmm. I definitely
Well,
agree.
y'all just want to take over. Girl, no, we don't. I don't want to have children. No, let me just say this too. Let me just preempt this. I've had this conversation where you want to, I really don't. I like being able to drink for 9 months, and I don't mind the kids fighting in my throat, but that's about it. I'm good. We're so not trying to take over. We know our place. Like MC Deborah said years ago, for me, I know my place, I know my role. I just have to earn my spot. Nobody wants to replace anybody. Why can't we just live? Why can't we all just get along?
Right, right. Like, I hate arguing back and forth with cisgender women about stuff like that, because the first thing that they yell and scream is, well, you can't give birth, you don't get a period. So I guess all the women who medically can't give birth or medically don't have periods, I guess they're men too, or they're transgender too. That's
Or
insane to me.
hold on, it's not that they're trans, but it's not that they're trans. It's that you are trying to take something derogatory that they can't control in their actual personal like bodies and biology, trying to use it against us, you do know that hurts them too, right? But
Yes.
because you're using it as a slur towards us, it's okay. But when your biological or cisgender sister is feeling away because she can't do A, B, and C, and you have some women, cisgender women, who've been wanting to have kids, who really deserve kids, but can't.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing about a lot being restricted from having kids, we're not restricted. There is
Mm-hmm.
many ways to have kids. There's surrogacy. There's
Adoption.
um,
There's
adoption
still
for
even
all the
natural births.
that gave up their kids, okay, or the
Mm-hmm.
families that gave up their kids. There's also donors and things, sperm donors, egg donors, stuff like that. You could create a whole family for yourself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not that we are trans people. And when we start to identify ourselves as that, as trans women, as trans men, as trans people as a whole, then they could understand we're not here for your job. We're here for our job. We're here for a specific job. We like who we are. We like where we are, and we like where we're headed. We
Mm-hmm.
have our own destination to basically go forward to. And by letting them get to that, oh well, you can't get, but I didn't ask for that. That's not what I wanted to be the best of me. And most of the stuff that is basically done, wigs and skirts and all that other stuff and everything, if we all look at history, it shows that it was all meant for men. It was all meant for the wrong people who got it now. Women
Mm-hmm.
wasn't allowed to wear makeup and all this other stuff and everything. Things changed over time. This is all Americanized. This is
Yeah.
westernized. So,
Back in the 18, well, back in the 15th and 16th century, these operas, these plays, these
we're
stage productions
all went
were
down.
literally all played by men who
By
were
men.
in wigs, makeup, and heels. And we as a society, we as a society don't want to learn the history. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the real history, not just what they're teaching us
Mm-hmm.
or what they taught us in these books
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
or the book. Well, I'm an 80s baby, so our history was literally up until Clinton and them. To
Mm-hmm.
dig deeper, you have this president who wasn't for and with us being in Black History Month, you have this president who wasn't for the abolishment of slavery. He just so happened to be the president at that time who didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they don't want us to know. Well, oh my goodness, he did that, but you don't, or we didn't get a chance to really dig deeper into the Black history, which to me is literally American history. Because let's not act like, here I go,
Yeah.
being a smartass. Here I go. Let's not act like this the America wasn't built on our grandmamas and granddaddies.
Hmm.
It's not like great grandma wasn't raising her kids as well as massa kids,
Mm-hmm.
being the backbone of her own house and massa house too.
We are the foundation of growth within America itself,
And then
Western
soon as
civilization.
we say something, or as soon as we want our part, we don't even want our part. We want our space to be left the hell alone and let us do our own thing. But as soon as we get that space and opportunity, they come in and take it. Oh well, we had it first. You do know y'all didn't. You do know we had that first, right? Like
You
it's
wouldn't have had any of what
documentation
you
of
have had it not been for us.
right. And
And
you
it's
have a lot of the
crazy.
others who their nannies or caregivers were elderly Black women,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't get their respect or their due of literally building this country on their backs.
Yes.
It's insane how we as people can gloss over our own history in an attempt to squash out or stomp out certain pieces so that certain groups or certain people don't feel like they're owed anything or that they're responsible for certain things.
And
Mm.
we had to live uncomfortably for so long learning about them. Now we're trying to reverse it so they learn about us, and now that makes them feel uncomfortable.
Definitely.
Yeah, I see in Florida they want to take out the whole slavery or try to make slavery as in, oh, well, you know, black people or colored people, they were okay with slave. Who gonna be okay with working for free?
For getting your
Let's
ass
dig a little
whooped because you
deeper.
don't
Don't
want to do
nobody
what
want to work
somebody
for
said.
free.
Yeah,
For
We
not
literally
being
want a
able to
minimum.
use the bathroom.
back in
We
the day
literally
in the
want a living
Bible,
wage now,
back
or
in the day in the
a
Bible,
higher living wage now.
a slave was a servant was given part of the property, part of the land, their own land, and stuff like that as they were with the family and helping the family. It was basically a family that didn't have a family. Here in the United States, we were just cattle, nothing more, driven. Even though that they enslaved their own in their own country, they took us and had us built this world right here, the westernized world. They took it from the other people who actually lived here, the indigenous Indians that lived here.
Yeah, and then y'all want to put them on reservations. Like, that's cute. Like, that ain't cute. And let me just say this real quick, and I hate to get into politics, but dude, it's gonna run people the wrong way, but it needs to be said. We have to stop laughing at when something bad happens to other communities or other cultures.
Definitely. Definitely.
When
Especially when it
when
happens to us in
no
other
no no no
ways.
hold on, no. When Agent Orange was out there literally rounding up the immigrants and putting them into concentration camps or
Mm.
saying whatever he was saying, baby, that ain't funny. You do know the same shit. Excuse me. The same stuff they do to them, we're next in line. Well, girl, it's not us. It's not us yet.
Mm-hmm.
When you stand by idle and let bullshit happen to others, it's only a matter of time before the same bullshit happen to you. Well, girl, that could never be us. How can it? How you
Oh,
think
they
we
already
got?
did it.
How you think we got tricked on coming over here on a free cruise that wasn't so free?
They
Oh,
already
well,
did
you
it.
know, my daddy wanted us to go take a cruise. Your daddy was a dumbass. Or your great, 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 so great grandpappy was a dumbass, God rest his soul. Everything that's free ain't good. Oh, well, girl, we going on a free cruise. I need the details. Who all gonna be on this cruise? Where we going on this cruise? What we gonna do on this cruise? Oh, we going to a new land. Yeah, I don't like too much land. That's new. I'm good. I like where I've been, cause that way I know where I'm going. I'm good.
And that's the thing. We need to know our past in order to know. We need to know our history in order to know our future.
Yes.
People, and I know I shouldn't bring this up right now, but it was like something that got to me pertaining to the last ball or function that just basically happened, and
Yo.
I'm just gonna say, I gotta say it. I have to say it,
Okay.
okay? And the disrespect that I felt that happened over a chop. And I felt like there was a woman, one of the judges, her name was Tanae. Tanae was mushed. Her head ducked down and everything and stuff like that. She said, oh, that is a 50-something to 60-something-year-old woman. For them to do something like that to somebody who has paved the way for us doesn't make sense. She was around when none of this was legal. She was around paving the way for us to walk down these streets by holding her head up high and doing the best that she needed to do. Just like you say, when you walk out that door, you make sure you on top of your shit. Excuse me, shit. This is one of those founding ladies that made sure that they did that in order for us to transition today to transition now and to transition before. We have to stand by our own leaders within our own community and understand where they came from and what they had to go through, but not to have the youth disrespect them. We have to teach these kids our history. If we don't teach them, listen, there's so many other women that are out there that are living stealth that have paved the way for us, and they're hiding because they know how shady us girls are.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And it's amazing that I've scrolled down my timeline this entire month and seen all of these people posting about these figures from Black history and even gay Black history. And then you go up and you ask somebody, do you know who Marsha P. Johnson is, or something like that? And they're like, who is that? Or you ask them about Stonewall and they don't even know what that is. They think that's a bar or a street in their neighborhood. And it's irritating because you're out here parading around and you're doing all this and you're able to be as free and as gay as you want to be, and you don't even know why. It hasn't been this way.
People have
Gay was illegal.
People have
Gay
died
was
when you
illegal.
get to where you at right
Definitely.
Mhm.
And you can't even honor them or enjoy the luxury of being able to do these things because you don't understand that they are a luxury.
Yeah.
You don't even realize that the social climate we live, the social and political climate that we live in, is slowly being taken from us. Here in Mississippi, the legislator is fighting every other day instead of fixing these regular roads,
Oh, you
and this
you
horrible
in
pipe
Mississippi.
system. Yeah, y'all are fighting to take out gender sensitive books and movies. And then they're not
Who
even
said
Yeah.
fixing things that are
Who?
giving instruction on being
Wait a minute.
transitional and things
Hold
of
up, I
that
need
nature.
help.
Y'all are fighting to take out stuff like The Color Purple.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
pause. Who's somebody said Mississippi? Who's from Miss Alexis? You from Mississippi?
I am.
Oh, okay. Now, who said
You are from Mississippi.
That was me.
I need to know I want. Who said?
That was me, Bianca. Yeah.
Oh,
Even with Florida and
Yes.
me being in New Jersey, in New Jersey right now, they're trying to literally, if a child comes out to their teacher, the teacher has to tell that parent. In Florida, they're literally trying to take gay and trans and all this other stuff out the books in Florida, as well as take out the blacks' contribution to history as well as slavery in
Mhm.
Definitely.
Florida.
Yeah.
Definitely.
hell no.
And I'm like, my whole thing is, it's just this is where we as a culture have to make sure we teach our youth the history of this country.
So you
Because
can't take away stuff like that because that's still a part of our history.
but
Yeah,
this is
it has
but
to
this
be
is what
preserved.
Florida, but this is what these states are trying to do. And once again, they put the BS in the fine print, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
When the people go to vote, oh, it may be, just hypothetically speaking, take away trans rights, but under that, it's take away cisgender women's right to have an abortion. It's
Mm-hmm.
also take away this, and this out of the school system. They only see the big picture of, or what they see is the big picture, take away trans and gay rights, not looking at the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
I come from an era where my grandmother and my mother told me, you make sure you read that motherfucking fine print because you never know what they might try to sneak in or slip in
Yes, God.
on the low. And make sure you get a copy of it too. You get a copy of what you signed. Whatever you put your John Hancock on, you get a copy of it.
Yes,
Well,
God.
I trust them.
No.
Baby, you got. We as a people can't be we can't be that stupid. You can't trust everybody. Now, I do want to say this. I found that ball situation this whole weekend interesting as a factor of it was entertaining. Now, I don't condone violence because a person may be going through whatever they're going through at that moment, but you never know what the other person is going through too.
Mm-hmm.
That could have went completely left. And lastly, we all know ballroom culture can be violent anyway,
Mhm.
whether it's physical mental Mason guns or whatever have you. It's just sad that it just had to happen.
And this is mainstream. And this is supposed to be our pivotal point in life where we are considered celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
That you do such an immature, disrespectful, inadequate situation in general to just another female figure like yourself.
Now, I have a question for you, Akasha. Akasha, excuse me. So, whether it had been a butch queen, a trans woman, or whoever, do you feel that a person's actions should have consequences in situations like this?
Yes. Yes. Banned. I know somebody said, well, why ban? I said ban forever. I actually said it. And I'll keep saying it over and over. Ban forever. Because you have to learn. If you learn, you learned before, you got to learn. You're not welcomed.
It's like as children, you got your ass whooped. You learn not to do it. Well, I came from an
Spare the
era where you
rod,
got
spoil the
disciplined,
child.
right? I
You
came from
have
an era where you got disciplined.
be a
You
team player.
learn not to do the same thing over and
Right.
over again.
You have to learn. You're not the fact that you're not a team player. You're a sore loser. You just get over it. You know what I'm saying? You get chopped, walk on, move on. Another, you got another time to do it and prove it right, and let people question that one. But for you to, and I posted up on my page, the anger already started to spill from the time that they got chopped, and then they started to go, "Why you chopped me? What was the reason?" And we could have said, because the effect, it wasn't giving you winter. Feathers. Is that keeping you warm for real in the winter? Was that feathers? I don't know if anybody saw that. Did anybody see that? Feathers? And it was covering the face. Why would you cover the face? It was supposed to be Mr. and Mrs. Frost, right? I'm just saying, this is an
Oh,
effect.
it was a face category. Yeah, okay, I'm not being funny. I seen when the
It was a
person
face
got
category.
chopped, and I seen them like literally like, oh my goodness, why you chopped me? Why you chopped me? But I never saw the effect.
That they was why they
But
it was that white.
but this is
It was
where
feathers.
I
It was
I
feathers.
always chuckle when it comes to ballroom and pageantry. In pageantry, you have like 5 to 7 judges.
Right.
In ballroom, you have a good 5 to 7 judges, or even 10 judges. But
It was
that
about
one
10.
chop, no, you had 2 sets, but that one chop negates everything.
It does.
In pageantry, it can be okay. You got one judge who just don't like you, baby. I just don't see it for her. Mama talk too much. She thinks she pretty. She thinks she that girl.
And they don't
They will
even know her.
literally take their scores and throw those scores out.
Tanae don't know her.
In ballroom,
Tanae's from the 80s. She walked in the 80s. Tanae don't know her. Tanae don't even associate with her. Tanae is not into ballroom politics and stuff like that. She just judges face. Tanae is the face of face.
but this
Tanae is
is where now let me stay in my own lane. Never mind. I was gonna say this is where
Go
the
ahead.
ballroom
Go
needs to
ahead.
get back to as a factor of
No,
even
you
in
can speak your
pageantry,
mind.
hold on. Even in pageantry and ballroom, you have judges who all know the girls and the boys. Some judges may root for that girl, some judges may root for that boy in ballroom and pageantry. Get neutral, non-biased individuals who don't know nobody and judge what y'all see on the floor, not who's your good girlfriend,
Now
not
the
who's
only
your
issue
I'm
with
going to ask
BFF.
that
you a
though,
question. Do you feel that the effect was winter?
No, what I had said was I didn't see the effect.
Oh,
I didn't see the effect. I saw her literally the front barricade where the judges were. When she got onto the second or the left side of the barricade, she was still asking, "Why did you chop me? Why did you chop me?" My issue is for the people who were sitting around the judges. Why did y'all let Mama get so
Oh,
close? That's
that's right.
my issue.
That's right.
For me, I don't want all of you. If we still got COVID, we still got flu, we still got the
machetes.
influenza, the monkeypox. I don't want to be around everybody. Now, granted, We all live in a society where beauty is deemed beautiful. That could have went completely left as a factor of you don't know what this person got, you don't know what that person got. You may have an allergic reaction to what this person may have. It could be something on the person's hands, a lotion or whatever have you. And the individual, whoever it is whether it's a butch queen, excuse me,
What if
whether
that person would have
it's
had
a
a heart
cis
attack?
man or just an allergic reaction, and that literally scars them for life. They can't walk a category, or they can't walk face or body or Vogue or do whatever because they had an allergic reaction to something. And
Why
that's the
do that in
mild aspect
general?
of it. Huh?
Why do that in general?
Right. That's the mild aspect of it, as opposed to literally things really getting physical.
I think it. I
Which
think it mostly had to do with the fact that this was a mainstream ball. Celebrities sponsor these balls that are so mainstream. So if it would have happened at another ball, yes, suspension would have been an option. But because it happened at this ball, I feel like I think it should be a ban. Not for life.
10 years?
5 or 10 years.
Like Will
Yeah.
Smith? 10 years. Will Smith got 10 years.
Well, no, I'm thinking what's I know the Latex Bowl is in June. I believe there's a bowl in Miami next month, and there's another bowl in Chicago. Um, what? Not
That
just
don't like
for
10
this
years?
individual, for any no for any individual. You know, in like in sports, they get like, okay, well, you can't play a game or two.
Mhm.
You can't play like 2 or 3 games, and that hits their pockets as a factor of they
Suspension.
can go out there and make money.
Yeah, suspension.
And now let's not lie, like these face categories, or even these body categories, they are really bringing, baby, I'm literally about to go, can I go put a face on and walk, like, because like I want to put on some makeup too and look gorgeous, like I want to like $20,000. You know I could do with $20,000. Hell, 15,000. You know I could do with $10,000. And I get it.
Yeah, ban for some type of
Well, I
time.
think that I think 10 years. And no,
I
no, I
understand, Anisha. I get
10
that
years.
part.
10 years. I feel like not everybody is face. I'm not saying I'm face. I'm just saying that not everybody is face, and sometimes you have to stop and think to yourself, well, what was it that she did chop me about? Was it my chin? Was it my cheek? Was it my jawline? You have to understand these things.
But
And
also, Akasha, it's also with you. I think you said you're going to be like maybe 45 this year. I just turned 43. I know me in my 20s, I would have been that girl.
Yeah.
yeah, of course
I
you
would have been a little ignorant and disrespectful. Now at 43, let me go back to the drawing board and see.
but that's why a leader was supposed to step in and say, girl, come on. That's it. She was supposed to be taught that from the Getty. She was supposed to be taught respect from the Getty. This is a competition. This is not, we're not, and I keep saying, this is not daycare. We don't have to baby you. We don't even have to tell you why we chopped you. I chopped you. What's up?
It's a chop.
What's up?
But
A
but
chop is a chop. It's a
that's what it
Yeah.
chop.
boils down to. That's what it all boils down
Got a
to
few
is
hours left.
basic
You want to
respect.
talk about it? You want to talk about it, and then you want me to read you in front of everybody.
Just
You
to make
want
it
me to talk,
worse.
so
Yeah.
you want me to tell everybody why I chopped you. It probably was your jaw, or it probably was your chin, or it's probably because your nose is not symmetric like I thought it was going to be. And then you covered up one eye when you came out, but you wasn't selling us any face. Show us the jaw. We got to see the jaw. You know, the jaw is a part of that face. You know what I'm saying? She never asked herself, what did I do wrong? Why did you have to ask her? Ask yourself. Well, my chin is a little clocky today. Maybe that was the reason why. Am I wrong?
But quiet as kept, it shouldn't even be the face. The effect should have been literally in pageantry. We go from head to toe or up from feet to head. Nonetheless, you get into
And
the effect. Did you
and
have
for
the
the
right color on? Now,
the
white
effect.
and mother of pearl is two different colors.
Now
Mm-hmm.
there was there was white. Somebody was wearing white, and somebody was wearing off white,
Right. Mother
beige,
of pearl and white are two different colors. Gray, white, and dingy are two different colors.
Definitely.
and Mr. and Mrs. Frost. Where was the frost in the outfits? Where was the ice? Where was the icicles? If you notice, everybody else had the ice, some kind of ice. You had flowers or petals or feathers surrounding your head as if it was springtime. Do you think that effect was correct?
If it's not what they were calling for, no.
Mr.
But
and Mrs. Frost.
this is where we as people got to do our homework.
Ding,
And when I say
ding,
homework,
ding.
go on the internet, but look up what Mr. and Miss Frost or who they were, or Jack Frost, as in the cartoon,
What they
or
did.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and when he was whatchamacallit. But this is
We
where
talk,
we gotta,
we
in
talk about
anything, you gotta do your homework.
Batman's what's his name, Mr. Frost, and his
Yeah,
wife was in the
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
castle.
Yeah, you gotta do your homework.
You know,
Do some research.
right. But dressed in all white doesn't make you Mr. or Mrs. Frost. With petals, flowers from the winter. Flowers. What white flowers in the winter are blooming and when the snow is falling? There's so many things that went wrong with that. Yeah, I said it.
Okay, okay, ladies, it's almost 11:20, and that's where
I'm sorry.
we're gonna end the live. But before we do, I have one more question. Because I may come back on tomorrow, and I want to know what's going on in Florida right now with them trying to basically do the license thing with us trans. Do you think it would drizzle up to other states if this get passed?
What do you mean license? Wait, what's going on?
They're trying to basically take if you're trans, they want you to have your gender on your license, your original gender on your license.
I definitely do think that it's going to drizzle. It's already beginning to drizzle. Because even here in Mississippi, and not just with your license, but your name change and different stuff like that, they're getting more sneaky with how you the entire process of getting it changed, of having things on your ID and things like that. At one point, if you didn't match physically with what was on your ID, they wouldn't allow you to change it, or they wouldn't allow you to even take a picture like that. And now, because there are things in place to say, well, as long as their face is covering and you can see who they are, they can take the picture like that. They're getting much more tactical about how they prevent you from doing so. So I definitely think it's going to be a drizzle effect.
Well, I know in Jersey we have to like our hair, like you can't have a bang or wear a hat. Your hair has to be pulled back, whether it's a passport or whatever have you, and you have to actually show your full face in your ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're doing a costume, you have to show your full face in your ID as well as with the passport. You can't have like you got to be in like black t-shirt. You can't have no specific colors on and all this other stuff.
They want you to look like an immigrant. I know.
Well,
Because
I would
my
say
passport looks
neutral,
fierce.
so you don't really look like you have an allegiance to anybody.
My passport looks fierce. Fierce.
Oh, trust me,
Fierce.
I don't need my ID looks just as well. I had to get them what they wanted. Why? Because they wouldn't have taken a photo. Like the DMV in Jersey, like they wouldn't have taken. Well, the DMV in general, like they ain't sitting on their asses all day and in a
Like
good cold environment and getting paid for doing the bare minimum.
the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh.
you gotta, and sometimes you just gotta play by their rules. We want to change things, but it's the DMV, it's the passport office. Well, I want to keep my bang. You can't have a bang, baby. I got a
Oh,
big forehead.
I had a swoop. They made me turn it, and they even showed me the picture. It was over. And I had a swoop. I kept doing it with my own hair. It was like this. It was like what's her name? Michelle Obama. I had the whole Michelle Obama down pack, and it was like a brownish blonde. And I came in there freshly curled and done. Came up in there like it was blowing in the wind and stuff like that, and it dropped down. And they was like, you gotta come back in and take another picture. I said, but y'all showed them the picture. The picture was perfect. No, you gotta come back in and take another picture. And I gagged. They had made me take the bang out of the way, and they had me make it so I looked like I had a what is it called again?
A
Mullet.
bouffant. I know what
A,
a bouffant, but yeah, it got to be a
bouffant.
real plain Jane, regular schmegular picture.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm not being funny. I think Florida is literally the southern states sadly are the catalyst for a lot of the shenanigans to be tried
Mm.
and pushed through and it trickle up to the other states. If this state can do it, why can't the rest of us?
So there's not
Yes,
enough gay people in LGBTQ in Florida?
it is. It's a lot.
So why is
I
it
think it is, but I think it's also a factor of this is where we as a people have to stop saying, oh, well, I don't want to go vote because my vote isn't counted. This is exactly what those people want us to believe. Well, if I don't vote, it won't be counted. You'll never know. Like the song says, you'll never know unless you go to the other side of the rainbow. When you get your ass out there and go vote, that's when you find out.
Yeah. And some of us need to start going into we need to start going into politics ourselves. A lot of us are afraid to be leaders, and we could be council people. We could be um what do you call it? Where they do certain district
Board
counselors,
members, but it also
board.
goes back to when it comes to the alphabet. I'm about to go to the alphabet gang. Excuse me. When it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community, they always want to use our past against us. I always say, tell your own story so nobody else can use it against you.
Definitely.
If you was on a corner sucking dick for money, baby, you tell them I was, and I made a
Right.
cute coin for it. If you were selling Ruda and Cuda on the corner, I was. If you were slanging drugs, if you were selling drugs, you was taking drugs, I did. What had happened was I was young and stuff happens. You tell your story so they can't use it against you.
And like we just said about the whole ID thing, the driver's license thing, sometimes everybody isn't made to sit on those platforms. But sometimes you can inspire other people through your story or just by being who you are in your community to do this. So many times we put these people on pedestals and we want them to be pillars in the community and this, that, and the third. But what are they really doing in the community? Are they encouraging these younger people in our community to get off their ass and go do what y'all have to do? Or is it only come do the pageant, come walk the ball? Or
Right.
girl, you were singing on the show.
And
We
we
can have that young do some advocacy work for the next 10 years. And she could go to
Exactly.
bowls thereafter. We could have her institute. Have her do a whole training, make her do, advocacy all over the place and stuff like that. And you are welcome to be a part of the bowl. Understand intervention. That sounds good. I would like that.
Yeah.
She don't even have to
hold
be
on.
suspended. Intervention.
First we gotta first accept accountability for actions.
Yes.
Definitely.
We as a
That's
people
definitely
literally
lacking.
have to understand accountability for any action. I did it. I acknowledge I did it. It hurt people. Let me learn from it and grow from it. And
Right.
then we move on. Don't
Right.
let it be 5 years, 10 years later. Oh, well, so and so wants to be on the city board or city council person. Oh,
Right.
well, she was doing such and such, or they was doing such and such with the what that got to do with what they trying to do now? They trying to literally be better and do better.
Totally. Totally agree.
I think tomorrow my topic is going to be the difference between sex work back in the day and sex work today. I would love to hear from different girls or the same if y'all are available. about how sex work has changed.
You said what? Okay. And we were supposed to talk about trans relationships, as in trans men and trans women.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the night topic. We got thrown off way off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I would
I
love
want
to. I
to
love to see y'all
understand
to
why
come back
trans
tomorrow.
men.
You said what?
I want to know why trans men are so shy.
Definitely.
Oh.
Like, because in other places, trans cisgendered men will step up to you. Trans men will just
Well, sometimes
They want you to make
cisgender
the
men-
first
some-
move.
right.
Sometimes
And how
cisgender
we
men.
know when we
Sometimes
don't.
cisgender men wait for the first move too. A lot of trans guys. There are some trans guys that make the first move. I know I make the first move. If I really like someone, I will make the first move. But if I see you as my sister or nothing else, I see you as my sister or nothing else.
Mhm.
How do we know if you see us as your sister and nothing else?
And even more importantly, where do we go when that distinction is made and
Right.
it's adverse?
Mhm.
Because we don't want
Well,
to fetishize, because it seems that trans men being fetishized as a trans man seems to be more offensive than trans women being fetishized. Trans women being fetishized.
Definitely.
well, I think, like you said before, you have to take the time to get to know someone. That's one, and you have to let that person explain to you what they like and what they don't like.
Are you single?
Yes, I am single.
Oh,
Come on, Love Connection.
are you available?
Oh. Come on, should we get shot or lie?
It's definitely giving POFTs.
Very much. And you are so blushing.
Down.
I
Your
will
hair
say
done
this.
turned to a different color.
Yeah, we'll have that discussion tomorrow if you're available.
How about tonight after the show?
Oh,
But-
this is hilarious.
But I will say this: it is almost 12:30, and it is Black History Month. And like I have been listening to you all before.
It's 11:30.
I mean, I'm sorry, 11:30. I have been listening to you all before. A lot of youth don't know our history. Could you all give someone in our community that you looked up to, here or not here? I when I say community, I mean LGBTQ, if that helps, that you looked up to, and like it says Black History. Let our youth know who they are and what they did.
As trans or LGBTQ. Okay.
Yeah, LGBTQ if you want.
Okay. Okay, handsome.
Who wants to go?
Go first. Because if I go first, I'm going to say the first person that popped in my mind is the late great Arthur Ashe.
Langston Hughes, wasn't he gay?
Yes, he was gay. No, he wasn't gay. I'm sorry. He was not gay.
Oh, his son was
He
gay.
not gay.
Langston
not
Hughes'
gay.
son was gay.
I did that for Black History Month. But he did die from HIV. You know. But he did not get it from sex
Not
with
using
male.
condoms.
Yeah.
Oh.
He got it from a blood transfusion. But he's my favorite. And if I had to mention anybody from any genre of anything that's being Black, great Arthur Ashe.
I think Macy Gray will be mine. She's a great lesbian.
She is. My goodness. You know what? I'm done with you.
You're all messed up. I'm sorry.
No,
This
but
done went so left.
she will be tomorrow. She will be definitely tomorrow.
They're going to take that story and run with it.
That comment she made, I might even say she transitioned. You see how you can rewrite the story?
Anyone's narrative can be rewritten.
on Wikipedia. Just pay $1.
No shade.
Mr. Alexis, what about you?
I've already mentioned Martha P. Ambrosius, but I am a big literature. I'm a big bookhead, so I'm definitely gonna have to go with E. Lynn Harris.
Mm.
He was a Black author. He was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, one of the first Black fraternities founded for Black men. He was also openly gay and HIV positive as well. He was one of the first Black authors that I read as a teenager, and a lot of the narratives that he paints in his books are gay Black men who are struggling with coming out and living stealth lives and things of that nature. And a lot of his work, although fictional, did kind of guide me through figuring out who I was as a teenager.
Mm.
So, yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what? I'm going to change mine. It's going to be Queen Latifah.
Why are you doing this?
Well, no, and
Definitely.
I've actually met her years ago, and the funniest thing is her being from Newark as well as Whitney Houston, and looking and understanding where they came from and the platform that they have. Well, God rest Whitney, so Whitney was a great talent. And even looking at Queen Latifah's roles as Cleo way back when, and Khadija, and all of this, like the diversity and this, and this, you look at people and you never think that you could be or you can do that as well. So it's great to see whether it's the alphabet, whether it's the LGBTQIA community or just Blacks in general, or African Americans, however you want to put it, what we can do and what we can be. Not just walking balls or pageants or sex work or anything.
Right.
The mainstream that we can go into.
Right.
I
Because
definitely.
she was a political rapper. And then she changed into a not just a political rapper, but a lyricist that became a writer, she went into acting. She even did singing. She even had a show, Queen Latifah. She
Yeah,
had a show.
she was on Living
Living
Single, and then she
single.
had a talk show too way back when. But this
Mm-hmm.
is where people once again don't know history. They just see, even with Will Smith, he was literally a rapper who turned into an actor. Same thing with Cool J and all these other ones too.
Mhm.
They don't know the history of, oh well, we just know them as rapper. Well, we just know them for the actors. No, they had they had careers way before they ever got into acting. They were literally political and didn't
Yes.
want to get played because their message was so strong and so pro-Black.
Definitely. And just another fun fact about Queen Latifah, she was also the first openly gay female to be a representative for Maybelline Cosmetics, for CoverGirl. Let's not forget that.
Okay. And she still looks good.
Yes, she does.
To this very
Yeah,
day.
that's that Jersey water.
Yeah. Ooh, that Jersey water is nasty, but woo, tastes like chemicals. Woo.
Them some good chemicals
Some
because she
good
still look
chemicals.
good. No, I'm kidding. No, but she do look good though. She's a like
She
we
does.
all age well.
Definitely.
Yes.
Like I said, tomorrow I would like to have a conversation on how sex work has changed from back in the day to now. They say even girls just street walk and they don't do it no more. They on the computers now. So I would like to have that conversation, and also I would like to have a conversation is, do you think things have changed in the entertainment business where that we can now as trans individuals play our own parts and it doesn't have to be played by cisgender people?
That sounds good.
Oh,
Can
I'm
we
definitely
all
ready for that.
introduce ourselves? My name is Akasha once again. I'm from up north, New York. It's a pleasure meeting y'all.
Miss Nicole, Alexis.
I am Alexis Fonte, also known as Alexis Owens. I'm from Mississippi.
And that's
I had
because
said this when I had jumped on, but nonetheless, I'm Bianca Red Lovestorm Prime. I'm from the Garden State, which is New Jersey. I really did enjoy this. Even being in the comments, I enjoyed having and conversing with all of you.
and like I said before,
And our host,
oh, okay. I'm sorry. My name is Zaymari, also known as a lyric. Like I said before, I did Too Much to Tea. I also did a show called Stuff Mode where I interview people and you never saw their face, but you get to hear their stories. Um, if you ladies are free tomorrow, or if anyone else would like to join those two topics of tomorrow, please inbox me and let me know. We will meet up tomorrow at 9:30.
I'm free on Saturday.
I bet. Well, you ladies, I enjoyed your time and you all have a good night.
Good
You
night.
as well.
You too,
Good
sweetheart. You two ladies have a great night and be safe.
Good night.
night, everyone.
Good night. Nice meeting y'all. So, okay. Oh,
Good night, Mr. Kasha.
good night.